Good morning, I'm Julia. Welcome back to my garden. It's onion lifting day. It's Thursday the 6th of August. Ah, she knew the date, I had to go and check first. Honestly, I had to go and check first. I've been lifting the onions, as you can see, hard at it. They're looking quite good. I'm going to show you. I've done most of that, I've lifted the most of them. I've got the last sort of 10 to do. So I thought we'd share that. About 10 left to do. So I'm just going to lower you down, move you a bit, and then I'll have a look at my lovely onions. I've never grown such good onions. I'm so happy. Bear with me. As you can see, I topped my onions, and I'm not doing that again. Because ever since I topped them, the theory is great, but ever since I topped them, it's rained. And I think the nature of an onion leaf being circular and hollow means they gather water if it's raining after you top them, so don't do it. Well, I'm not going to do it again. I don't think I gained anything bulb size wise from it. So. And of course we all know to use a tool to ease them out rather than pull them out, because just like with the garlic, you don't want to damage the basal plate because it will affect the storage. I'll have to check in my diary on the date that I put these in. Just doing a bit of weeding while I'm going. Got very weedy, this bed. Not as weedy as where the shallots are though. So, I think I've got, well, I know I've got about 90 onions, full proper onions. There was a worm in my onion skin then. Oh, it's out now. Yeah, what was I saying? I've got about 90 onions here, which is clearly not quite enough for a year's worth, but there's the shallots as well. I'm lifting those today as well. The banana shallots, obviously the globe shallots are already out. All the water that comes out, not good. Right, that is 90 onions lifted. I'm just going to tidy them up a little bit so I can use the land, because it's on the slope, to my advantage, to drain them out a little bit. Bloody nice too. Get rid of all that later. So this bed's going to get a good weed in, and it's going to have something else for the slugs to eat on it, or the caterpillars to eat on it, or for the pigeons to come and eat on it. So that's the full-sized onions out of the ground. I'm just going to tidy them up, use the lay of the land to help them drain a bit, and then this evening they'll go on the drying racks, I think. We've got a couple of good days of sunshine coming though, so they could stay out here, but I am worried about the critter damage that they might get, so I think in the end they'll go in. Okay, let's tidy up. I'll come back to you in a minute when I've done it. Well, that's a nice size, isn't it? There are 90 decent onions and 46 banana shallots that are all usable, so actually pretty darn good. Quite pleased with that. Next is weed the bed. Give it a bit of a refresh with some fish blood and bone, and get some brassicas in. Well, as it's the beginning of August, I thought we'd have a garden tour. So starting here in the greenhouse, where the tumbling toms are that I moved, and they have seriously gone mental. And they are now starting to ripen up nicely, which is good to see. Still got lots of tomatoes and lots of flowers and lots going on with them. The suckers are now probably as tall as the plants that came off. There we have a little teeny tomato on the sucker. Hooray! And yeah, they're doing really well, all these suckers that I took. The garlic is now dry. That's going to come into the house today. Oh, look there, a little bulbil off. Coming off it. Interesting. Never seen one of those before. Heard of them? Not seen them. So the garlic's all coming in today. It's going to get platted up or cut down, whichever, and stored. Oh, look at this. They're looking good. They're looking good. I think we've got, where did I see the I thought I saw one on here. It was ripening. Oh, it mustn't have been on that plant then. Oh yeah, it was that one there. So yeah, they're starting to ripen nicely. Hurrah! So good. We're going to have greenhouse tomatoes. The dahlias and the cosmos, they're all looking absolutely gorgeous. The calendula, not quite so. They got really battered by the rain, and quite a lot of them just rotted off. But I'm going to go through today. I'm going to cut out all the dead stuff, see if we can rejuvenate them a bit. Those cleomas are really looking the worse for wear. I think slugs have just been having a fantastic feast on them. That's because I've got them next to long damp grass. Look at this little beauty. Oh, I've got another dahlia to show you in a minute. Ain't that just gorgeous? And the cosmos. Beautiful. And in amongst all this cosmos and dahlias, we've got the courgettes. I'm going to trim some of these old leaves off. They're doing quite well. There's little. This bed of courgettes is doing really well actually. I'm very pleased with them. We're getting quite a few out of it. Right, note to self, next year, don't grow your carrots and your parsnips together. It's not that they don't grow well, but the parsnips are beasts. And they took over and lay all over my carrots. They're just starting to recover a little bit. I just did this yesterday just to hold the parsnips back a bit. Give the carrots a bit more room while I'm getting carrots out. And then the parsnips can have all the space they want again. These onions I have still not taken out. And I'm not going to yet. They're the ones I grew from seed. They're a bit of an experiment. So we'll see what happens with those. My poor French beans are really not looking happy. They did not like all that bad weather. Hopefully we've got some nice weather coming now. They will recover. But they've been struggling. Let's just say they've been struggling. However, last year the cobra were dreadful. Didn't get a single bean off them. This year there's little beans everywhere. So maybe not quite the disaster that I thought it was going to be. I think with a bit of dry weather, hopefully we'll get something off them. I really need to have a big tidy up of stuff everywhere at the moment. That's going into the shed, but I can't lift it, it's too heavy. The Costa Violette last year was so good, so prolific. And this year they've hated all this rain we've had this month. However, again, there are flowers. And those are some baby, ultra baby neck of gold beans. So, you know, things are starting. We will get some stuff off. Not as much as I wanted, but there will be. I mean, look at the state of that plant. Some of it's not so bad. Look, it's just hated the weather. Poor thing. Anyway, what has been okay though is this bit of the arch. Look at that. That's coming along nicely, isn't it? Nice and lush. These are all the runner beans, the butter beans. As you know, at this side, we've got the Greek Gigantes beans. And we've got lots and lots of pods forming on them. Lots. Which is really rather nice to see. Let's see. Right the way up and over. That's going to be special. And still, absolutely tons of flowers. Absolutely tons of flowers still on them. Oh, still putting out new tendrils on this side. Let's stick that in there, then it can grab onto something. I took all the peas out, the Kelvedon Wonder peas, they're all out. So that's given me a bit of space for other things, but I've still got the alderman peas in there on that side. And as you can see, purple podded mange too, which are growing up a TP, and there, on the other side, there is where they're supposed to be. But they're like in the arch, so they can go where they want. And then we've got runner beans. Well, obviously we've got the Greek gigantes beans, and we've got the Cherokee. There we are. They're tiny flowers. The Cherokee Trail of Tears beans. Look, they're making their beans. We're going to be fine for beans. And then an absolute madness of runner beans. And this one is the one called Enorma. And they're coming together. They're coming together. They're not looking enormous yet, but we'll give them a chance. I'm sure they'll get there. And of course, the absolutely stunningly beautiful sweet peas on the ends. I would always say to anybody, if you're growing sweet peas, don't grow them with your ordinary peas, especially if you've got children, because they like picking pods and they wouldn't be able to tell the difference very easily between, not a child anyway, between a sweet pea and a pea, so, and they're poisonous, so don't do that. Keep them to where there's only you going to pick them, or where you can easily tell the difference between the sweet peas and the beans that they're growing next to. So I've grown them next to my runner beans. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I've grown them next to my runner beans so that they're easy to differentiate between. Oh, I need to pick these today. I need to get the step. They're too high for me now. I mean, literally they're... Wow. Incredible. And they're so beautiful. Look at that beautiful sunflower. It's a whopper. Well, it's a whopper for me. It's a whopper for this year. They all seem to have been a bit odd this year, don't they? A bit of a jungle around here, but it's the sunflower display, which is, yeah, I'm as enjoyed as I can be. It needs a bit of help, to be fair. I need to get in here and stake things back up again. That's a beautiful colour. That one looks like it's going to be a good one. But the two very best, I'm sorry sunflowers, I know I'm going to say this, the two very best looking sunflowers that are most promising are these two that have grown in the middle. I need to get some of this sweet corn in. They've grown in the middle of where the broad beans were. They're growing tall and straight and true. And they're about 5 feet high now, and they're just putting on the flower bud. So I don't know how high they'll go. I'm going to try some of this sweet corn at lunchtime, I think. I think it's ready. Some of it is. Some of it's got nice dark brown tassels. It never grew. Good morning. It is now Friday the 7th of August. My camera ran out of battery yesterday, so I had to take it in, recharge it, and then I got distracted doing something else. So I thought today we could start up where we left off and continue our garden tour. Where did we get up to? I think we'd had a look at the brassica bed, which is not good. It's just slipping. I've got you propped up on the sweet peas. There we go. I think we'd looked at the brassica bed, hadn't we? And we'd looked at the sunflowers. The brassica bed is weedy. I need to take the cover off. Get in there, get all the weeds out. There's so much in there. It's just crazy. Right, okay, so that's today. Absolutely wonderful looking kohlrabi in there. We'd never had it before, so I only grew about 6 plants, I think. 6 or 8. And they're delicious. Love them. You're slipping again, huh? We love them. So they're definitely going to be a lot more of those growing. I'm sorry, I've got these propped up in the sweet peas and I'm just looking at how beautiful they are. They're stunning. I'll show you in a second. bean arch is looking a bit good too. Right, let's get you out of these sweet peas, because you know we're going all funny, and we'll carry on with our tour. Aren't the sweet peas just gorgeous? They need picking today. Ooh, there's so many of them, and they're lovely. All the way up there now, beautiful. And the bean arch. The bean arch is looking absolutely stunning. This part of it is. The French bean one is a bit weak. Been having problems with them because of the weather, as I think I've already told you. We'll not worry about, we'll not talk about the leeks for now. Oh, there's a bee on the sweet peas, looking beautiful. Yeah, we talked about them, didn't we? They've not been that great. I think it all needs a good feed. Yeah, I'll feed that. The calendula also took a massive battering in the weather. Oh look, there's a peacock butterfly. Let's see if we can get close. There it is. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Beautiful. Enjoying those flowers, whatever they are. No idea, they were just here when we got here. My mess of a hedge area. That, oh, I've just seen something else. One of the black dahlias is out. We'll have to go and have a look at that, won't we? This all needs cutting down again, and then I'm going to put something over it to stop it growing up again, because that's going to be new bed next year. From, as you know, from there to about here where Harley's shoulder is, leaving me a path down the middle. Look at all those onions. They're doing alright, aren't they? And there's a cabbage white amongst those little brassicas at the end. I'll have to check for eggs afterwards. Oh, I need to deadhead all of this. Look, there's seed heads everywhere, but it was just so wet. Couldn't get out to do them, so I'll do them today. Comfrey I took down, never did anything with it. It's still sat over there in the wheelbarrow. So once I've weeded this bed where the onions were, which I'm going to do today, and get the onions out of the way and up into the shed so they can do their drying out up there, I'm going to chop the comfrey that's in the wheelbarrow and then just spread it on the bed. The purple mange tout peas, which are, as you know, blauwschokken, I drip in today. Yesterday there were very few, or the day before that there were very few. Today it's just covered in them. So that'll be a nice harvest later on today, and we'll have that for tea and some for the freezer. They're everywhere today. This pea bed is a real mess. It's supposed to be blauwschokken on this TP and alderman on this TP, and they've all got mixed up, so I've got aldermans and blauwschokkers all mixed up, along with sweet peas. And you know what? When it makes as stunning a display as this, I really don't mind. I'll just rummage for the peas. Oh, this is the other alderman plants. These are coming to an end now. They're still making flowers, but again, not enough for me to keep them going, so I'll give them a few more days to let these pods do their filling out, and we'll get them in. And then I'll take those out, and then I'm going to have brassicas in here. I've got a few in pots waiting to come in, just some cabbages for the springtime. So once they're out, cabbages are in there. Don't look at that. That's been eaten by pigeons. They've gone for the middle one, don't know why. Look at my onions. You can look at my onions. That's good onions. Oh yeah. Right, we're going to go into the Polytunnel, but we're going to be brief because it's going to be hot. Dahlias down the middle of the squash bed. It's just brilliant. They look pretty and they don't take up too much space. At the middle there's a dead head. You all know how to tell a dead head from a bud, don't you? The dead heads are cone shaped, and a bud is button shaped. A little cushion. as opposed to a cone. You all know that. Into we go, into the tomato tunnel. We've got tomatoes ripening everywhere now. Oh, those look like some ripe indigo cherries down there. Not as hot as I thought it was going to be in here, actually. We've got some ripe, that's, I think, yellow delights. And interestingly, when these ones go right, I'll show you with this one, the indigo cherries, red at the bottom, purple on top where they've been exposed to the sunlight. Ain't that just gorgeous? It's like a fireball or something. Beautiful. That's on my lunch. There's a few ripe on there, so maybe on other people's lunches too. Just nip out that sucker. I've already been in here this morning and done this, and I'm still finding more. It's always the way, isn't it? But yeah, we have ripeness happening everywhere, really. Black cushions. That's a gnarly one, isn't it? I wonder if you can see it. And of course the sungolds doing great. Quite a nice bowl of tomatoes to take in here today, I think. That one looks a bit dodgy, so oh no, maybe no, it's not. It's fine. A few ripe tomatoes going on in here today. Ooh, just having a look around. Tomato in a bottle for Haughty Hugh's channel is flowering. Da 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 da. It's got a flower. Hopefully it'll get a fruit. Those are enormous. Some of my tomato plants are rather large now. I think it's time to stop them. I think I'll stop those plants just above that top flower truss, the top one. It's looking good though, ain't it? We're not looking at the peppers because they're not looking so... They're doing alright. They've not got as much on as I would have liked, but they have got some stuff going on them, so they're going to be what they're going to be. I should have grown them in the greenhouse, not in here. And next year, definitely, peppers in the greenhouse. But, you know, tomatoes are coming on good. Got a few over there at the back that need to come out of here today. And down here. These have been very lovely. They seem to ripen quite nicely. And I picked it too early last time. You know, when I did a taste test, they go a lot redder than I thought. Those are Sweet Baby, and they're lovely. This one here is, this one at this side is Marmande, and this one is Raff. Got some whopping big tomatoes on it. It's actually sitting on the ground. I need to support that a bit. I've tried tightening the string, but the weight of the tomatoes is dragging it down. I might take that big one off, and that hopefully will relieve the weight a little. That is more Raff. These are the Costoluto Genovese, and they are, there's loads of them. And that's the first one of those ripening. And they're everywhere. Yeah, nice. Oh yeah. Oh, and that's the first one of the Costoluto Fiorentinos ripening. Our first ripe Ildi. Lovely. There's so many tomatoes on these Ildi plants. I can't even get down there to show you properly. It's dripping. Dripping with tomatoes is, I think, what you'd say. So it's looking good in here. There's a very fat, happy looking bee. going on in there. Oh my goodness, there are quite a few bees here actually. Cosmos look really beautiful. They really are one of my favourite flowers. Put on a lovely display. Look at that. I think they're Canterbury bells. They've been in that tiny little like 3-inch pot for over a year and they're still managing to flower. Amazing. I love this site. Look at that. Beautiful. These squash that are in the big bed next to the sweet corn are called Tondorchiara Denisa. Highly recommended. Brilliant producers, nice flavour, nice texture. There's a volunteer tomato in just over there, if I can zoom in. I'm not sure if I'm showing it you very well. I think it's in the middle there. Doing really well. Looking incredibly healthy. I'm leaving it alone. He's a cheeky little chap, isn't he? Enjoying the calendula, which got very tall and collapsed over under the rain, but they're doing all right. Again, I need to deadhead. That's the job for today. There's going to be a lot of deadheading going on today. And then they'll perk up again. They'll be fine. If anybody knows what this plant is, it was here when we moved in. It comes through the brightest green at first, and then it turns to red. And can you see it's just starting to think about turning red. Turns red in the autumn. And it is so beautiful. I have no idea what it is. How beautiful does a flower need to be before you call it a show-off? Look at that. Beautiful cactus dahlia. New to me this year, that, and I am very, very pleased with it. This bed's a little bit of a hodgepodge mess. There's some sweet peas there that were supposed to climb up the fence and decided not to. So they're doing their own thing. I'm not even cutting flowers off them, I'm just leaving them. And then we've got more dahlias. All sorts of things going on really. Down here. All sorts. There's another dahlia that seems to be a bit shorter than the others, shall we say. There are probably some plants that are getting drowned out. That is a very, very young agapanthus. Should be nice next year. A massive amount of mint. Delicious mint as well. No idea what sort it is. I think it's peppermint, but I'm not sure. And it's delicious. And there's more calendulas that need deadheading. I'm going to be deadheading all day long. And then there's this beautiful little patch here of cosmos and lupins. And I think there's some, what else did, oh, there's this borage that has just popped up from nowhere. I think the chickens pooped that seed there. That's fine, they do that in the autumn. A lovely crazy little spot of just gorgeousness, really. Love it. This lovely, wild, crazy little area is where I just threw all those seeds. Do you remember when I mixed them with compost? And it's done this. And yes, there are weeds under there. Do I look like I care? No, I don't. And there's the sweet peas collapsing off the teepee. I'll try and tie them in this afternoon. See, and then there's more of that mix that I did. Just looking stunning. The cornflowers, so many different colours. They're ranging from these lilac-y colours through to these magenta. There's gypsophilia in there as well, the white. There's the very cornflowery blues that you would expect. Absolutely stunning. Sorry, I'm trying not to focus, I'm on the slope. Just lovely. I think that I really enjoyed doing that. Look at that. What a colour. And again, another spot where I just threw seeds in. mixed in with compost. There are a few things that I did in seed trays, but mostly it's mostly it's things I've done in seed trays. And a few weeds and some collapsed sweet peas. It's looking a little dishevelled, but absolutely gorgeous. That is a David Austin rose. It smells divine. I can't remember the name. I've got the name written down. I'll try and put it in a little caption underneath. Look, a bit top heavy, but you get the idea. That's stunning. Just, I mean, look, beautiful. I sit here on this bench outside the front of my house quite a lot. Think about the things I want to do with this garden. It's getting the feel that I want, but I want more beds. Over here where there's a lot of grass here, needs to be a bed there. And beyond the sweet peas down in the corner, a shade. I want to put a shade loving bed down under there, and another couple of small beds in these areas where there's lawn, because I want it to be almost all flower bed with some grass paths through. I was going to do gravel paths, but I decided not to. It's just coming along very beautifully, in my humble opinion. Hello. I wanted to share something with you that you just don't see every day. This is a rather unusual tomato. Nothing unusual about it, you might be saying. It's tomato shaped and tomato coloured. Let me show you why it's unusual. It's got a hole. It's grown with a hole through the middle. Ain't that amazing? Amazing it is. Gonna get eaten it is. Going on a bacon and tomato sandwich any minute now. Thank you for watching. It's been my pleasure as always. I hope you've enjoyed the little tour of my garden. And I'll look at the flowers and I'll catch up on how those seeds that I just threw in have done. I'm really pleased with them. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.